Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, July 1st. This is Keith with Spreadsheet Sports, and going to do a quick little breakdown of the four-game slate for you guys this morning. Not a lot to get to. Article will be released a little bit later. I've got some stuff working on that, and along with the game-by-game breakdown for the evening slate as well. So hope you guys are enjoying this. Like always, you can reach out to me. I've had a couple people reach out to me through GChat or through Google Plus Hangouts and on Twitter as well. So from the feedback, you guys are enjoying this and liking everything that we have going on. So hopefully that continues and that we will be in a great situation coming up later on in the season as we start to get more of a schedule down. I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible just because of the fact that right now I am in the process of closing on a house and moving as well. So sorry for the inconsistency of the schedule, but hopefully as soon as all that gets done, then we'll be able to nail down more of a consistent schedule. That way you guys know when to look back for it. So we're going to go game by game breakdown here. Obviously, there is only 4 games this morning, so it'll go pretty quick. The good thing about it is that there's some pitching options to actually choose from this morning. So first game of the afternoon, we've got the Minnesota Twins versus the Cincinnati Reds. We've got Trevor May going against Johnny Cueto. Cueto's a minus 188 favorite. That total is only 7, which is very odd considering the fact that it is in a hitter's ballpark. The Reds are projected just under 4 runs. The Twins are projected just over 3 runs. So Vegas sees this as a very, very low-scoring, close game. I like Johnny Cueto. He's got obviously one of the higher strikeout ceilings of the day or of the morning, and it's going to be kind of one of those situations where you hope he just doesn't get himself into too much trouble. And what I mean by that is Brian Dozier, Eduardo Nunez, they're at the top of the lineup. They're very, very good about getting to right-handed pitching. So these are 2 of those reverse split guys that we keep talking about. Just because they're not lefties going against a righty doesn't mean that they're not good plays. So if you're not choosing Cueto, and you're going another option, then those are 2 guys you might want to take a good, long, hard look at. So as far as the Twins, I don't like anybody else. Maybe Trevor Plouffe in a GPP, but that's a flyer. I think there are better options at third base today that you can capitalize off of. So as far as the Cincinnati Reds, Joey Votto, Todd Frazier, Jay Bruce, they're all in play. They absolutely kill right-handed pitching. And Todd Frazier is one of those third basemen that we're talking about as far as in a better situation than Trevor Plouffe. I don't like Brandon Phillips in this matchup. He's been hitting better, but he's still kind of gimpy a little bit. Brian Pena, he's hit or miss. Marlon Byrd usually crushes lefties, but not righties, so I'm not going to that well. Billy Hamilton is hitting back at in the 9 spot today, so that's not something I'm looking towards. That's probably about all the exposure I'm going to have in them. One of the things that I want to talk about is when you attack these 4-game slates, these 4-game mini slates, like I said the other day with the 3-game slate in the morning, I tend to steer even more away from stacking than I normally do. I'm not a big stacker just because I don't like putting all of my eggs into one basket. And over the course of the evolution of MLB DFS, everybody now knows about stacking. So everybody's going to go in and they're going to, oh, I've got to stack this team and I've got to stack this team and I've got to stack this team. And yeah, like last night, if you stacked the Baltimore Texas Rangers game, you probably did very, very well as long as you hit on the right pitcher. But if you didn't, then you were chasing. That's just because Mitch Moreland has the Orioles should trade for Mitch Moreland just right now because he absolutely is crushing balls in Camden Yards. But it's when you don't put your eggs into that one basket and everybody else is so focused on stacking, you really, really kind of differentiate yourself from the field when you don't stack to the fullest. And what I mean by that is I'll take like a 2 and a 4 hitter or a 2 and a 3 hitter or a 3 and a 4 hitter, or even go 1, 2, 3, 3 of them. But on FanDuel, I'll only go up to 3 unless it's like an absolute awesome matchup, or I'm in a very, very large field GPP, like a 500 or a 50,000 person tournament or something like that. On DraftKings, I'll only go 4 or 5 because, and I'll mix up the correlation in there because even though correlation is so big in baseball, everybody's worried about taking the 1 through 6 or the 2 through 7. Remember, we talked about those wraparound stacks, like with the Chicago Cubs. You go, you go 7, 9, 1, 3 or something like that. So there's a lot of different ways to do it, but mostly, especially in cash games, mostly I try to stay away from stacking. If I do, I stick to below the max because everybody's so worried about stacking and getting the max. So that's how I attack these slates. That's how I attack everything, but especially on slates like today. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket because if you stacked the Toronto Blue Jays last night, you got hurt. There were some other teams out there that had higher run totals that you got hurt on. So the Dodgers were a huge letdown unless you had Howie Kendrick or Yasmani Grandal. So it's one of those things that you've got to pay attention to, either based on the slate or based on the games that are out there. So enough with that. Let's kind of move right along here. We got the Boston Red Sox versus the Toronto Blue Jays. This is the highest total of the morning. We got Rick Porcello versus Mark Burley. Burley's a minus 145 favorite, and Porcello is obviously not had a very good year so far this year. Boston paid him that huge contract to come over, and he's been a letdown. So we've made some money this year targeting against Rick Porcello, and we're going to go back and we're going to do it again. I like Edwin Encarnacion and Justin Smoke. If you want to separate or go a different route in GPPs, go down to Justin Smoke instead of Edwin at first base. It'll allow you to, first off, he's only 2.5K on FanDuel, and he is, let's see what he is on DraftKings. He is 2.8K on DraftKings, so he's salary relief, and he's got a very, very high hard contact rate versus right-handed pitching this year. So that is always something, especially like with multi-position eligibility on DraftKings, that you've got to take into consideration and you've got to look for is where, especially in GPPs, if the field is going towards one, where can I go towards the other? Maybe not get the same production, but still get good production to where I can go somewhere else go to somebody else that's in a better spot that people can't go to because they spent up here. So first base is a big one that I like to do. I'll typically sometimes, depending on the matchups, I'll spend down at first base, or I'll spend really, really up and have to end up punting somewhere else. But this morning looks like your best bet is to spend down at first base to go spend up in a spot where people normally would punt. So that's where I would be going on that. As far as the rest of the hitters, Josh Donaldson at third base. Third base is loaded this morning. Russell Martin behind the plate. I like him. Let's see here. Jose Bautista is a good play. I'm staying away from Jose Reyes. Not saying he's not in a good matchup. Just saying that I think he's going to be the highest owned shortstop of the morning. So I will play GPPs only this morning. I think I've got maybe a couple double ups, but mostly it'll be GPPs. I'm only going to roll out about 2 or 3 lineups, maybe, and see how it works. So for the Boston Red Sox, David Ortiz, he's your BVP first baseman of the day. He has 4 home runs against Mark Burley, and this is not a small sample size. This is this is stupid. Here's his numbers. He's hitting 25 of 79 for 316 batting average, 4 home runs, 14 RBIs, 357 OBP, a 266 ISO, 939 OPS, 318 BABIP, a 404 WOBA. He's averaging. It's absolutely sick. And it's a lefty-lefty matchup. He might be he might be the highest owned first baseman of the morning, but this is one of the he's owned Mark Burley. So even if he is the highest owned, you kind of take your points or your non-points, whatever you get from him, project the ownership, kind of feel it out. I'm thinking he's going to be the highest owned first baseman of the morning. And I don't even think it's going to be close. Actually, you're going to see Edwin Encarnacion. He's going to probably be the second. So you've got some ways you can kind of pivot a little bit. Next game, we've got my Colorado Rockies versus the Oakland Athletics. And Sonny Gray was a late scratch. So if you saw that yesterday, I hope if you had him in your lineups, you took him out. I liked Jorge De La Rosa, and he actually helped me kind of not completely bomb last night. It was I wasn't on as many Rangers and Orioles as everybody else was, so I didn't do quite so well on FanDuel, but on DraftKings, I had a really, really good night. So as far as the A's here, I like Jesse Hahn. But this is another one of those situations where how much do you want to take into effect of Coors Field? I know they're in Oakland, but the numbers that the Rockies have versus right-handed pitching this year are absolutely ridiculous. I know a lot of it comes at Coors Field, but you still have to make contact. You still have to make hard contact. Some of the hard contact rates that the Colorado Rockies have versus right-handed pitching is absurd. So I love Nolan. He's absolutely, like I say it every day. He's ridiculous. Let's go ahead and do this right here. Tulo's my top shortstop of the day, just because of the fact that I think he's going to go low owned and under owned, and I think he's in a good matchup here. I like Cargo. Jesse Hahn has struggled against left-handed bats, so that'll bring Ben Paulson into play. Actually, you know what? Tulo might not even be in the game. Now that I think about it, it's a day game after a night game. It might be Daniel Del Scalzo. So I completely forgot about that. So you're going to have to pivot on that one. Kind of watch out for it. If Tulo's not in the game, I do like Eduardo Nunez, as long as you're not throwing out Joey Votto, or sorry, not Joey Votto, Johnny Cueto. Other than that, I would probably go Xander Bogaerts. He's been really, really good. He's hitting second in that lineup today. I don't mind Marcus Semien, but he's hitting towards the bottom of that order. And there's another shortstop I actually really do like today as well. So you'll probably see as a little bit more left-handed lineup from the Rockies this year, or sorry, today. So kind of beware of that. Charlie Blackmon's in play. If you know is in there, he's a cheap punt option, but that would be a GPP flyer only. And that's only if you're throwing probably multiple teams in there. So as far as the A's are concerned, Stephen Vaught, he's in play. Billy Burns, he's in play. Ben Zobrist, he's in play. The first four are all in play for me on for the Oakland Athletics, depending on what kind of lineup they roll out. They're like the Tampa Bay Rays of the West. We have to watch out because they like to throw out different lineups and stuff like that. They do play a lot of the money ball, the mix and match and stuff like that. So we saw Ben Zobrist go from outfield in the first game to second base yesterday. So they roll them around, they throw them around. So we got to pay attention to that lineup. So hopefully it comes out before roster lock here in about an hour. Last game of the night or the morning, we've got the Seattle Mariners versus the San Diego Padres. Kind of watch out for the weather in this. It looks like it's going to be a little wet, which could favor the pitchers in this. But be careful if you're going to target the pitchers. I like James Shields, and I really like Taijuan Walker. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm targeting right-handed pitching versus the San Diego Padres. We saw Mike Montgomery, who is a lefty, actually throw a one-hit shutout last night. He had a perfect game, I think, going into the seventh inning. So he's Taijuan Walker. He's been pitching a lot better as of late. He struggles kind of on the road, but he's going against a Padres lineup that does not scare me at all. So as far as the Seattle Mariners, and everybody's going to laugh at me on this one, but Robinson Cano is my top second baseman of the day. He has absolutely owned James Shields, and like I said, it's not a small sample size. You're looking at 35 of 87 for a 402 average with 4 home runs and 15 RBIs. I know Cano's not the same guy he used to be, but when you own a pitcher, you own a pitcher. I like Seth Smith. I'm totally off and fading Nelson Cruz. Kyle Seager's not a bad play at third base if you want to punt and go down there. Brad Miller, he's my other shortstop that I was looking at and eyeing on. He's kind of been struggling as of late, so his price tag has decreased, which is good because now I'm going to buy low, and in good matchups, I'm going to start plugging in Brad Miller because it's starting to get to the summer. We're starting to make some pushes. And I think he's going to make a strong push for the second half of the year. So as far as the Padres bats are concerned, the only one that I might even throw in there, and it's going to be in a non-Taijuan Walker lineup, is going to be Justin Upton. Other than that, they're bad. They're really bad. I like James Shields as far as this. He's got the highest K potential of the afternoon or the morning, but I don't see him getting any run support. So this total is only at a 7. The crazy thing is that it's a pick 'em. They're both projected around 3.5 runs. So take that and kind of run with it. If I do a stack today, it's going to be a combination of probably Blue Jays, Reds, and Mariners. But I probably won't do a stack because I'm not rolling out that many lineups this morning. So I'm probably going to stick away from a stack. I don't have any in any of my lineups right now, so I'll stick to that and kind of filter in and out and make sure it's not that I'm trying to cover every basis because I have my plays that I like. It's more of I'm, again, not putting all my eggs into one basket with only a 4-game slate. I compare stacking on light slates like the Houston Astros. It's either boom or bust. You're either going to hit it or you're not. So I would rather hit on a couple guys in each team and be able to differentiate myself. And at worst, min cash or double up my money and live to fight another day rather than go all in and boom or bust on a 4-game slate and have all my eggs in that one basket. So, guys, I got something kind of cool coming out a little bit later on as far as the article is concerned. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. I got something kind of cool coming out a little bit later on as far as my article, kind of how to develop a game plan and how to. I touched a little bit on it yesterday, and if you don't remember, then you'll see this afternoon, along with some plays and stuff for this afternoon. I hope you read my article last night about my value plays. Just home run. So that's always something nice to kind of see, is that if you guys did hit those, then let me know. That way I can kind of make sure you guys are liking me throwing out some value to help you afford those bigger bats or those bigger pitchers and stuff like that. So guys, leave me comments, feedback, what you would like to see, any questions you would have. That's where I get a lot of my topics for my articles and stuff, is a lot of the feedback. Don't forget FanDuel League. We didn't get it filled yesterday. I've tried to bump it up to 13. It didn't quite work. So I made it back down to 10. And we've got, it looks like, we've got 4 people in there so far. So Mr. Moneybags is trying to defend his title. So let's get that thing filled. I'd like to, like I said, keep raising it and keep bumping it up. But it's no fun when you get 12 guys in there, or somebody comes in last minute and you get 12 guys in there and everybody else can't play. So I post it by 8:30 Central Time every single morning. It's the first thing I do when I wake up, or when I get up, and after I get going and get my cup of coffee. So it's always going to be in there. So make sure that we get there and we get it going. And if it's already full and you don't get in, make sure you send me a DM on Twitter, on Google Plus, or anything like that. That way I know how many people are not getting in it every night. That way I know kind of if I need to raise it and how much I need to raise it by. So guys, I enjoy all the positive feedbacks and comments. Hope you guys have a great morning, win some money, and have some fun. Thanks. I'll talk to you guys here in a bit.